Hey guys, Color here, bringing you Game 4 of the Proleague series between Wemade Fox and CJ. And in this game we have Pure, a Protoss player playing for Fox, versus Iris, a silver medalist in the OSL actually, playing Terran for CJ. And yeah, so far this series has been quite exciting, I have to say. Just game 2, Nada losing to Xellos, and Xellos making a huge comeback after what I thought was pretty much certain defeat. And in the last game, Savior and his Protoss ally MBS managing to pull off a very strong victory, just playing very dominantly over the Fox team, I feel. So I feel the momentum is on the CJ team right now. They are up 2-1, and it'll be up to Pure, the Protoss player, to fight off Iris, who is a very aggressive Terran player, known as the Berserker Terran, for his ability and his desire to do rushes early in the game. Sometimes proxy rushes, factory rushes, just every kind of rush. Just likes to keep the pressure on his opponent. And we have him here spawning in orange at the 5 o'clock position, and we have Pure spawning at 1 o'clock in blue. And the map is Colosseum, another new map for Proleague. I like this map, actually. It's quite interesting. 4 spawns in the corners, and your natural expansion's on a ramp next to your base. And you have a sort of a choke point that combines your ramp with another expansion, which is accessible to from another ramp outside of your main. So the part leading from your main has 2 ridges on both sides. It could be very vulnerable to drops or to sieging, but on the other hand, you do have sort of a height advantage to protect your natural expansion. And on top of all, there's a neutral sunken colony in the choke point leading towards your main. So really kind of an interesting map here, and we're seeing neither player going for an early cheese. Supply depot and pylon being built inside of bases here. And I feel on the map like this, really it asks for Terran to go for early dropship. It just begs for Terran to go for an early dropship against the Protoss player rather, because of the viability of tank drops on this map. And I feel that it would be a little bit of a mistake not to go for quick tanks to do anything else. Because this map is just favors Terran with the ridges everywhere around the Protoss's main base. Protoss, of course, can do storm drops and just play their standard game, out-expand the Terran player. Central part of the map doesn't have any resources, and it's sort of barren. I don't think you can build on it, and it's fairly open. So I feel that does favor Protoss a little bit in this matchup. Of course, the statistics aren't out yet, so really it's too early to call yet whether this map's imbalanced in this matchup. Looks like a Refiner going up for Iris and a Cybernetics Core going up for Pure. So both players going for very standard builds here in the opening. Iris going for a standard factory build, and looks like Pure going for some early Dragoons or early tech. We'll see what he decides to do with after he builds his core here. He does have the option to diverge. His diverging options, rather. I can't speak for some reason. He has divergent options on what to do. And as you can see here, the Terran player would have more difficulty completely walling in with his buildings if he wanted to do so because of the neutral creep. But looks like Berserker is not thinking about doing that. He's just building his buildings right next to his base, which is going to help his resource flow a little bit more because the SCVs will have less travel time. And it looks like finally both players sending scouts out. Looks like Berserker is going to get to his Iris is going to get to his opponent's base first, and he's going to see the Cybernetics Core spinning. So I assume that is the range upgrade, and not a fake range upgrade. Looks like only one SCV on gas. I'm not sure. We could be seeing Iris going for a fast expand now, or not a fast expand, but going for his natural expansion on top of the ramp. Looks like a pylon being built next to. No, just on the ramp there for Pure, so pretty standard for him. Pretty standard Protoss play for him. I expect him to be going for fast expansion now after the Cybernetics Core is up, and he gets a couple of Dragoons. Although, if he does decide to commit with a tech build, he won't be building that Nexus. He'll be going for some tech building, preferably hidden. The one Dragoon is scouting around, seeing if there are any Terran units just wandering about, and looks like robotics facility being set up next to the sort of hidden pylon as natural expansion. So perhaps hoping that Iris won't see it in time. Perhaps going for a Reaver drop here, which could be interesting to see. Looks like couple Dragoons out now. We'll see whether, really, I think the decision making is up to Pure at this point, whether he goes for an Observer first, which is a safer build against the Terran player, or if he goes for Reaver, which is, of course, more aggressive, but can be much more beneficial. It looks like 5 Marines out for Iris, actually, and with that number of Marines, I do expect an early tank push from him. Usually, the Terran player will not be building that number of Marines without thinking about using them for an early push. Looks like something being researched at the machine shop. It looks like actually the probe hiding out there on one of the ridges overlooking the Terran choke point. He's going to be able to see the Terran moving out here, so that is a good position, sort of like hiding an Overlord over there, just hiding an Overlord over a cliff for a lot of maps where you can just spot without the opponent being able to shoot up. It's the same thing here for the ledges. It looks like Probe's going to spot the natural expansion going up. That shouldn't be that much of a surprise. Looks like a pylon wall is almost complete here at the front base, so that's interesting. Perhaps doesn't want vultures to get in too easily. Iris looks like he's retreating here, actually, with his Marines and his 1 tank. Perhaps thinking that there might be not enough for him to do there, not enough Dragoons, too many Dragoons there for him to be able to do much. And looks like actually Observatory was being built for Pure here, so it looks like he's not going to be going for a fast Reaver drop. He is going to be getting his second base up, and both players have their second bases going up here, so still a fairly standard game so far. Berserker Iris not really showing too much Berserker play right now, just playing fairly calmly actually, just sort of a very standard Terran opening here. Looks like he's going to be getting a couple of Vulture Mines planted down, and perhaps trying to think about going for a mine contain here. Now it looks like Observer is out for Pure, and he's going to be able to get a scout onto Berserker's base. But once again, he's not going to find anything too surprising there. Some SUVs being transferred, and really, yeah, it looks like engineering being built for Iris here. Really on a 4th game like this, on a critical sort of 4th game, because usually these series do go to game 4, and it really determines the momentum or the win, of course, for the game. Really, I would love to see Savior at this position here. Instead of having played in a 2v2, I would love to see Savior playing in Game 4, because I think that was one of the positions he was commonly in for CJ before his slump of late. And unfortunately, while he did play fairly well in the 2v2 game, it was not really spectacular. I think he had showed a couple of moments of very good play, just killing off his opponent Zerg's natural expansion critically, while his opponent Zerg was busy with his Mulisks elsewhere, and also just scourging the Overlords quite well at the end. But really not amazing, Savior at his top level play. Regardless, let me turn back to this game. Looks like a robotic support bait was up for Pure, so Pure is probably waiting for a Reaver to do some harass here. And it looks like the Observer getting chased a little bit by, but it is going to survive inside of Iris's base. Right now, so far, very calm game so far, and looks like a second expansion being set up at the other ramp location. Each base sort of have its, on each of the ridges there is an expansion overlooking your choke point, but the other one, for here, the 12 o'clock one for Pure has a ramp pointing in the opposite direction. It looks like Iris is going to spot it with his scouting Vulture there. He's going to scout the natural going up there, and that could be a cue for him to decide to push out soon to prevent the Protoss from gaining an economic lead. And looks like a couple of actually no, Iris is going to get the same thing for himself. He's going to get that second expansion for himself, and so far the shuttle not doing anything. Perhaps waiting for a second Reaver to go in for the harass here. Excuse me, and looks like just a couple of Vultures being built. Now the macro is getting started for Iris, building 2 more factories. Looks like 2 Reavers out for Pure here, and looks like a 2 Reaver harass coming up. This could be quite powerful if he pulls it off well. On the converse, it could be quite bad for him if he loses them without doing much damage. And looks like, I'm not sure if Iris has any turrets in his base. I know he doesn't have any glides, so I don't know how much he's going to be able to deal with this shuttle here, and the mobility is prized. But looks like the Spider-Man does spot the shuttle, and of course Iris will know this is coming. Looks like he does have a turret around his main mineral line there, and Iris now is probably trying to divert forces back to his main to try to intercept the shuttle coming in. The shuttle does have speed upgrade, of course. which is why it's flying so fast. And it looks like actually Iris is quite prepared. He has a mine cleverly placed there at the south. It looks like the shell is going to try and run in anyway. It looks like takes some hits there. Does get in here, but looks like a tank already sieged up and ready for it. His tank does go down there. That's the benefit of having 2 Reavers in there as opposed to just 1. It looks like a new tank trying to come in here and do some damage. Oh, looks like that Scarab won't do any damage there. So forced to pick up for Pure here, but Pure now doing more damage here. Looks like his Reavers are stuck on their own though, because the shuttle is dead, and I'm not sure they did enough damage to make it worth it. They did take out some Marines and a number of SCVs, but the shuttle and both the Reavers are dead, and I think this might be the cue for Iris to push out. I think this time is better than any for Iris to move out right now. Pure getting greedy here, taking a 3rd expansion now at the mineral only at the 12. But I really feel like Iris needs to move out now. Now that the Reaver and the shuttle is down, he can go for his main tank push. And it looks like he's not doing that, actually. He's not even using those SCVs. I'm not sure what he's doing. I think they ran from the main, but didn't manage to do anything with them. Army going up now for Iris, so thinking about doing some upgrades, or perhaps going for some Goliath, so it'd be smart, which would be smart against these dropships. So far, I haven't seen a sign of Protoss going for a